Alrighty, folks. How are we doing today? Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video I'm making here. My name is Vonnie Vaughn, and what I'm about to be doing here is playing Costume Quest. It's basically going to be any percent, but I wanted to add in some of the cutscenes here because I want it to be a potential donation incentive for some of the cutscenes to get played that are either funny and or important to the story so that you can see what that's like. It's not going to add that much time. I only estimate an addition of maybe about 6 or 7 minutes at the most to this. So, but I'll point out which cutscenes are being played that are not necessary to watch or would not be necessary for any percent, but would be included in what I propose is like a cutscene percent incentive. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Time doesn't start until the end of this opening cutscene here, which cannot be skipped. So that's kind of convenient, I suppose. Alrighty, so we get a little of the backstory here. We see all these kids running around. It's Halloween night. And we've got this family here. They have just moved into the neighborhood. We got mom and dad here. But the real main characters here are these two children. They are Reynold and Ren, respectively. And they are twin siblings. And they're talking about how much they love Halloween and what it means to them. And so mom is trying to convince them to go out trick-or-treating together, and they're not terribly excited about this idea. But they're being coerced into doing it, or else they're grounded. This is a funny little argument here. I'm 10 ounces heavier, you're 10 ounces dumber, you're 10 pounds uglier. We never know what he's 10 tons, but because there's no fighting, according to Dad, we never find out what she is 10 tons more of than him. So, this is the first real control of the game. Mom chooses who is in charge for the night. You can choose either Reynold the boy or Ren the girl. This is going to be a donation incentive as well as to which one we select here for the main character of the run. Just because it was pointing to Reynold, we'll start with him. Now, once this cutscene fades to black, that's when time starts. But just to explain what's going on here, whichever character we choose, they get the robot costume. Whichever one we don't choose gets the candy corn costume. And you'll see what that's about here in just a second. So let's choose Reynold. Which one you choose as far as the gameplay goes makes zero difference. It's just... Okay, here we go. So now the timer starts. So you see that's Ren in the... in the candy corn costume and Reynold in the robot costume. Okay, now this is an optional cutscene that we're going to watch here. This kind of gives a little bit of backstory as to what is going on in this game. So, they go up to this house to trick-or-treat. Reynold is embarrassed to be seen with his sister, so she goes up on her own to trick-or-treat. But who answers the door is this little goblin-looking creature. These goblins are called grubbins. What they are doing, and you'll see here, is they are trying to collect candy. And this grubbin sees what he thinks is the biggest piece of candy he's ever seen. And so he's going to take it. But really what he's done is he has stolen Reynold's sister. So now we get this cutscene here. He comes out into the street and we see this ominous gate that's all of a sudden in their neighborhood. This is another optional cutscene, by the way, where the Grubbin is trying to get into the gate and deliver the candy, but the orders being given to him is that all candy must be liberated from this neighborhood before they're able to go. So what he wants to do is get credit for finding this enormous piece of candy. And so what he's going to do is he's going to toss Ren over the fence, or over the gate, excuse me, for inspection. Reynolds isn't too happy about this, not because he's trying to protect his sister. He's just trying to protect himself from being grounded. And he knows that if he loses track of his sister, then that is what will happen. So Reynolds gets mad, and Reynolds wants a fight. And so what's going to happen here is there's this little cutscene here. This happens at the beginning of every battle. This is actually going to be a battle tutorial where you see he turns into this big, scary robot. So what the battle tutorial is going to tell us here is that we need to make sure that we match the timing with pressing the corresponding button when it gets into that window. Well, we're deliberately not going to do that, and I'll explain why in a second. What we are going to do is deliberately block. So there's going to be a random button, either X, Y, A, or B, that's going to come up. I need to press it as soon as possible to deflect the attacks and take less damage. Now that we have gotten to our third turn, we can use our special attack, which in this case is these rockets. And that does a lot more damage. The reason why we skip those doing the direct timing for those attacks is we don't need to in order to end that in 3 turns. This is another optional cutscene here where we see this evil sorceress. Her name is Dorsilla. And what she is going to reveal to us is that she is not fond of human children, and she is the one that is behind this whole plot to steal all of the candy from this neighborhood. So she summons a tornado to get Reynolds to go away, and in the process he loses all of the parts to his costume. So now things are really, really looking bad for him. And there goes Dorsilla. This car crashes. But it's okay, because Reynolds is about to get visited by... Yeah, so he's just concerned about being grounded for losing his sister. But he's about to get visited by a cat. This is a very important cat, actually. The cat is going to just kind of try to guide Reynolds in the right direction. It's like he's trying to tell him something. And off the cat goes. Oh, he's showing him the this piece of paper here. What this is what's called a pattern. This is going to be the basis for all of the costumes that we are going to find and use throughout the game. Every pattern requires 3 parts in order for it to be assembled. And we're actually going to just get a bunch of them right now. We're going to get all the parts for the robot costume back. These glowing coffins are essentially treasure chests. So we've got a cardboard box. We've got... This is aluminum foil, I believe. Yes. But then we get the most important part here. We get the roller skate shoes. Now with all 3 parts assembled, we now have our costume back. And the roller skates are an incredibly important part of this speed run, because they allow you to go fast and they allow you to go over these ramps as well. So we need to come up here and talk to this kid in the red hat. Oops, no, I'm not talking to the right guy. That's the one I want to talk to. He is the neighborhood bully. And what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to chase us down on his skateboard. But luckily, we have rocket skates. And we can just scoot right on by him. And we are fine. We go over this ramp. Whee! This is a cool little cutscene to watch as well. Everybody's in awe of Reynolds escaping from Travis and getting to safety. And Travis crashes out, and then this lady dressed as a police officer messes with him. Now, the little boy that was standing there in the knight costume, that's Everett. He's going to be the second character that we'll be using in the game. And with his knight costume, we're actually going to do something interesting here. Okay, she just messes with him. Scaring kids is what Halloween's all about, right? Okay, here we go. So what's going to happen is we're going to switch into Everett's knight costume, which you can do at will, but then we're going to switch right back because we now have rocket skates. Okay, so what we need to do in order to get through this next section, or to get through this level here, I guess, is we need to clear all of the houses. You can tell a house has yet to be cleared if its lights are on. We just need to go trick-or-treating at it. Now, whoops, I pressed the wrong button there. Now, every house is either going to have a grubbin that will answer the door and thrust you into a battle, or it will have a person who, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, who'll have a person who will give you candy for trick-or-treating there, which is what normally happens when you go trick-or-treating in houses. So the candy that we collect throughout the game, candy is the currency of this game. It's like your gold or whatever. So we're going to need this to buy some things, which I'll get to in a second. So, okay, so this house is done. You see the lights now go off. Now watch this house. Lights are on. We go here. This is one that gives us candy, and now the lights go off. Oh, yeah, and you kind of... I'll show you here what happens when you come to a house that gets candy. Normally I'm mashing B to skip this, but there's this drum roll, and what comes here, and it's just a person in a costume that gives you candy, and you can move on. Another trick-or-treat here. This is candy. There is no randomness when it comes to what you find at each house. It's completely fixed. So I know this one is going to be a battle as well. In fact, not only do I know it's going to be a battle, I know exactly what enemies I'm going to fight here. Now, this grubbin that you see here in the white hood, this is a healer. Healers are our absolute top priority for elimination, for fighting enemies, because they can heal and prolong battles, and we do not want that. Being that this is a speed run, we want to end these battles as quickly as possible. Okay, so he buffed himself. That's good in that it kind of is a waste of a turn. I don't know if I'll be able to finish him here. Oh, so the special ability that the robot costume has is those rockets. What those will do is they do damage to all the enemies on the screen. Oh, we lost Reynold. Okay, I don't need to do a crit here because it was low enough on HP. The good thing is that after every battle, you heal and revive. So as far as Everett dying there, not a problem at all, because we're going to get into a battle right here. And you see Everett is good as new. So yeah, so the special for the robot costume is the rockets that does damage to all enemies, and then at the end of the turn, it does a little bit of residual damage to all the enemies as well. The special for the knight is it's not an attack, it's actually a protection. It's a protection ability that is not terribly useful outside of one specific application, which we will get to later. Or if you're, like, in a really bad situation, which hopefully we don't find ourselves in. So now, the way that you do crits with each of the different costumes varies. So for the robot, we have to wait until that slider gets into that area where the button indicator is, and then press the button to do the crit. Okay, we get a level up here. Come to this house. This is candy. And then we're going to come on over here. Now, we got to talk to this guy to get him out of the way. Now, we're going to demonstrate... so what we're doing here is we're using the knight's special ability outside of battle, and it's to hold a shield over the head. Pretty much all of the costumes have a special ability outside of battle that you need to use. With the robot, it's the rocket skates. So we're going to be using the robot as our main character throughout virtually the entire run because it makes us faster, and we want that. So I come across here. Do this. This is a battle. Now you typically want to go for the enemies that have the lower HP first. Because they'll be easier to take out, and that's just less turns that you have to sit through. thus allowing battles to go faster. The robot is the stronger costume here, so we're going to use that to do the attack. So that way we can do more damage to this one that we know is going to survive. Rockets come out. And then this should kill, but if it didn't, that fire would have cleaned it up anyway. Okay, so you see Everett telling me something about battle stamps, which I'll get to in a minute. But first we have a couple more houses that we need to go to finish our current quest, which is to assemble the parts for a very American patriotic costume. That is the instruction that we were given by that kid in order to get into the party at his house. So that's what we're working on right now. So these enemies here with the purple robe, or the purple hoods, these are warlocks, or essentially they're mages. These enemies can be very dangerous because, oops, didn't mean to do that. Because not only can they buff their allies, but they do these magic attacks which do a lot of damage and do the residual damage to us. Now, unlike the residual damage from these rockets, which only lasts one turn, when the residual fire gets placed on us, it lasts for the rest of the battle, which can really make them a lot more dangerous because they just keep doing damage to you. Alright, so we've assembled all of the parts for the Statue of Liberty costume, and this guy here just gave us the he gave us the pattern to get it. So we grab this cherry here, and why we do this is important in just a second. But in order to do it, we needed to switch to the knight in order to shield ourselves from the squirrels that were throwing rocks at us. So we needed the cherry here to give to Miss Putterpam, who was the school principal, because she needed a special ingredient for a Halloween pie that she wanted to make. You need to give her that cherry in order to move to this section of the neighborhood and get her out of your way. Okay, so enemy here in the white hood or the white robe, that is the healer. We need to destroy it immediately. Block. They're always going to heal once they've taken a lot of damage, so we know that. Hopefully I can take it out this round. Oh, it's going to be close. There's a little RNG with the damage. Okay, good. We did take it. There's a little RNG with the damage rolls that you get here. So that's not a guarantee. Okay. Now, one thing to mention about the rocket attack. You've seen pretty much every time I've used it here, I've used it when there's been only one enemy on the screen. The rocket attack does have a primary target. That enemy will take the most damage from the rockets, whereas the others around you will take less. Or the others around the enemy should take less. Okay. So a couple more houses we need to trick-or-treat at here. This one is another battle. And again, we've got the shaman, which is that healer, so that one goes first. There's going to be a couple formations in this game where we're going to fight one healer and two mages. Those are very dangerous encounters, potentially. So we want to make sure that we're very careful with how we deal with those. But here with just one healer and one mage, we're fine. All right, don't need to crit here because they were low enough on HP. So rockets to this guy. Full attack here, and the fire will do the rest. Perfect. Okay, one more house to go to. It is Candy, and then we can go into the park in the middle of this neighborhood here, and we're going to talk to Sadie. She is going to be the one who will provide us with the battle stamps that Everett's been talking about. Alright, so we're going to buy this one, and this one, and we're going to equip this, and we're out of here. Okay. Now, I'll explain those battle stamps in just a minute here, because we will be getting into a battle where we'll kind of demonstrate some of this. First, we got to come to this house, get some candy, and then this is the last house of the neighborhood where we're going to get into a battle. Now, the battle stamp that I've applied onto Reynold is called the Bloodshot Eyeball. This increases the amount of damage that the critical hits do. Now, you'll notice there that I attacked the one enemy that died but did damage to the other. That's the battle stamp that Everett has on, which is called Pumpkin Guts, which will do kind of like some chip damage to all enemies in the battle that aren't being targeted by your attack. This is going to be an incredibly useful ability to have. So the battle stamps are kind of like your accessories that give you power-ups. So you see we've got all these grubbins sitting around, but we dodge them so we don't get into the encounter. So this talking scarecrow is one that we're going to see throughout the game, and it's going to give us stuff for like a mystery costume. So we'll get more into that in a second. All right. So here's the first real boss of the game. This is Dorsilla talking to the foreman for all of these grubbins that are out here. The foreman's name is Bojan, and Bojan is the one in charge here, but Dorsilla is not terribly happy with his progress getting all of this candy. She is very concerned about getting as much as they need. So there you see Ren, the big candy, getting loaded onto there, and yeah, the kids just want her back, and Bojan's like, no, I'm not going to give her back. If they eat me, I'm totally telling. Alright, so Reynold is upset and wants to fight Bojan. And Bojan is going to oblige, and we're going to get into our first boss battle here. So Bojan has a megaphone. What the megaphone does is summons assistance. We need to get rid of this megaphone as quickly as possible. You're going to see the pumpkin guts in action here. See, Bojan took a little damage there, even though I targeted the megaphone with that attack. Bojan is always going to first summon a healer, which is not good. We do not want to see that healer continuing to heal the megaphone. Hopefully we get it to attack this round. Let's see. Okay, Bojan's going to charge. What is the healer going to do? That's not good. Okay, this megaphone is probably going to survive this round. We don't want that. We'll see, though. Yeah, it's definitely going to survive. Okay, this is going to be interesting. 7 HP. Okay. Another heal on the megaphone. Alright, well, we're going to take it out now. There we go. Okay, we want to attack this shaman here, and it died. Okay, good. Alright, so we're fine. We didn't get too affected by that megaphone surviving, which is good. Alright, Bojan should be dead next round. Block that attack. We'll do rockets for good measure, even though two attacks certainly would have been fine. Don't even need a crit here. In fact, we don't even really need an attack because that fire would take it out. Alright, so Bojan dies. Why'd I have to pick today to quit smoking? Alright, so they're going to get on the bus and get Ren, but it starts to leave, so instead they hop onto the bumper and we leave Auburn Hills, which is the name... No. Auburn something, I think, is the name of the neighborhood where they're in. And so that's the end of the first section of the game. So now they get dropped off here at a mall. But we're in kind of this like darker section of the mall. Speaking of darkness, you see there's that darkness over there. We'll get to that in a second. We need to switch to the night costume to get through that falling sediment that's coming through there. This security guard here says, oh, there's some scary stuff going on down there. I'm not dealing with it, but if you want to, go ahead. Here is a pattern for a Space Warrior costume. Now, what you just saw me do here was go up and encounter one of these grubbins And this is going to be the start of where you can fight enemies outside of trick-or-treat scenarios. What we did there was we snuck up behind it and we hit it with our trick-or-treat pail. And when you do that, you get what I call initiative, where the battle starts out and all enemies are going to take, before you even take your turn, all enemies are going to take a little bit of damage, which is nice. This is actually really helpful in a couple of situations, but just definitely helps to make things go faster. If you get it, great, but if you don't want to waste too much time trying to, you know, circle around an enemy to get, or wait for it to walk by or something like that, unless, like I said, it's one of those important scenarios. So, this battle's done. This guy is going to give us the first piece to this space robot costume. Okay, we're just going to wait a couple seconds just for him to turn around to get the initiative. There we go. Now we can get it. That wasn't too much of a waste of time. And see, with these 3 enemies, it just makes it even more valuable. So, you see here now we've got what's called a medic. This is another healer, and just like I've said before, we take it out as quickly as we can. We also get introduced to a new kind of creature here. Before we saw those little goblin things, which are called grubbins. Now we've got these bigger troll enemies. These are called trobogs. But as far as the enemy, as far as the type of enemy, whether it's a grubbin, a trobog, or another enemy type, which we will see later, doesn't really matter. They're, you know, it's not like a grubbin healer is more or less effective than a trobog healer. That doesn't matter. Right, so now we're going to see using the special on multiple enemies, where the main one is going to take, what, 32? Oh, so the main one's going to take 52, and the other one's going to take only 32. So being able to maximize the total amount of damage that you do to enemies with things like the rockets, the pumpkin guts, so on and so forth, is really going to help speed up a lot of these battles. Yeah, taking a lot of damage here. The defense is pretty important to the run. It's also important to defend properly because the animation from taking a undefended attack is longer than the one from a defended attack. So from a speed standpoint, you want to defend every attack that you can as well. Alright, so this guy, alright, we're going to sneak around him, and there we go. Their line of sight is not very good, so sneaking up on them in a lot of cases is not difficult unless you're in like a narrow corridor or something like that. In which case you just can't get around them and there's not a whole lot you can do. Alright. Hopefully, I think we can take this guy out this round. Oh yeah, easily. Okay, good. Alright. And of course you want to focus on enemies as much as you can, because the quicker you can take them out, the less battle animations of their own that you have to sit through, and it saves you more time. Alright, so this guy doesn't even need a crit from Reynold here to kill it. So we're going to intentionally fail the crit because there's no point in waiting for that slider to come up. Okay, there's a level up. And we need to talk to this guy now. He's going to give us the third and final part for the Space Warrior costume, which is now being worn by Everett. Well, just for a second. Now, its ability outside of battle is to use this Sword of Brightness, which will allow us to cut through this darkness here. Otherwise, Everett is too scared to move through it, and you can't pass. All right. So these enemies floating around here, we're going to avoid these guys. Now we're going to come up here. We've got to switch to that. Oh, but we want to switch Everett. You can switch everyone's costume. And when I say everyone, we're going to get a third character not coming up in the not too distant future here. So now this is the Space Warrior in battle. Space Warrior is very similar to the robot in how it functions, where you got to wait for the slider for its crit, and then its special is similar, where it's an attack that does a lot of damage to its primary target, but then also splash damage to everyone else. The only difference with the special here is that the damage done for the primary target for the Space Warrior is much, much higher than the one for the robot. But the splash, but you know, the trade-off is that the splash damage to the other enemies is much lower too. So like, here we go. So this is gonna do a whole bunch of that first one. No, only 8 to the other one. I didn't see the number for the primary target, but go. Is this gonna? Nope. 1 HP left. Fantastic. Go. Slice it up. Alright. Now, this Trobog here is probably going to be a bud. Yeah, there was no way. Yeah, see, this is one of those things where I was talking about where in this narrow corridor, there's no way to get around them to get that crit. So, or to get that initiative, I should say. So, we just deal without. Now, the next battle is a different story. Okay, it's going to heal. Fortunately, it heals itself. And we'll just take it out next round. Block. Another block. Alright. Super there. We're going to do another super here. Throw a rock at him. Does a bunch of damage. The fire took him out good. Alright. Only one standing. That makes us faster. We're not going to take him out this round. I don't think. No. Oh, especially not if I don't do a crit. Is he going to die? No, 3 HP left. Okay, good. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention about the costumes is that they have either buffs or debuffs to certain stats. Okay, this one here we're going to wait because this is one of the battles that I was talking about before where it is 1 healer and 2 mages. These battles, if the way that they buff the mages goes wrong, it's very easy to have this battle to not be able to finish this battle, that you'll die before it happens. So getting that extra damage is really, really important to make this battle safer. Now, if you die, all you have to do is basically just restart the battle. Okay, they're already buffing. Okay. Thankfully, he didn't buff the other guy. What's he gonna... Oh, please buff the healer. Yes. Okay, good. That's good. Having a buffed mage, though, is a concern. Because, you see, it's going to do a boatload of damage. Oh, good. Okay. So he should die before he gets to attack, which helps a lot. Alright. So, rockets for you. Throw a rock at you, and the fire will clean this up? Yes, it will. Okay, good. Phew. Alright. So here we go. So here's an optional cutscene here that we're going to watch real quick. There's another one of these ominous gates here. And what they're saying is that if you want to leave a message for Dorsilla, you can do so at the beep. So Reynold is really frustrated here. My sister smells. She's annoying. Her costume is embarrassing. In fact, I wish she'd never been born. These are some very... Sometimes. These are some very, very frustrated words from poor Reynold here, who's been through a lot. And he's just not happy. Okay, that's enough from that. Now we get into the actual mall itself. And, okay, so this guy is the conductor. He's talking about the mall rail car, which is currently broken. Oh, I didn't mean to grab that, actually. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. All right. So we talk to these kids who are being forced to play video games in order to earn tickets so that they can get prizes to change for more candy. We get another battle here with Bojan. We're going to take out his minion first, because you have to take out all enemies in a boss battle in order to finish it, not just the boss itself. Because this one has lower HP, we do that. They both do basically the same amount of damage, so it's not like leaving Bojan alive longer is any more dangerous or anything like that. Okay. Now we can focus on Bojan, because the splash damage from these two specials we're about to unleash will be enough to take out this little guy. But we want to maximize the damage we do to Bojan here, because outside of the splash damage from the pumpkin guts, we haven't touched him at all. At least not till now. Okay. That'll take out the other guy. And then should just be one more attack. Whoops. Didn't defend that properly. Should just be one more attack here from Reynold, and we should be done. Oh, 1 HP. Great. Obviously don't need a crit there. Alright. We'll watch this little cutscene here. Why didn't you beat them? We could, but in order to save the company, might have decided to run through this hole instead. Alright. So, we get a costume part, which will be important later. Speaking of costume parts, we're going to take a little detour here, and we are going to get another costume part. And now we're going to head back up here where we're supposed to be, and we're going to collect our third character. This is Lucy. Sorry, I'm on your way. Just investigating a mysterious malfunction with small rail. No mystery. It's monsters. Well, I'm a scientist, so I don't believe in fantasy. This is going to be a theme for Lucy. She's very, very scientific and literal and analytical, and it's great. Unfamiliar species from distant galaxy who traveled here via a perfectly scientific wormhole in space-time. They're magic! No! Alright, so she's like, oh, you want a fellowship? Yeah, here. Let me give you a costume part, and I'm part of what y'all are doing. Alright, we need to switch some costumes here. Everett is going to be our spaceman, and she's going to... Oh, we've already got it like that. Okay, that's right. And then what we need to do is come here to our battle stamps, and we're going to put the pumpkin guts on Lucy, and we're going to put this Fang of the Wolf on Everett, which is just a simple attack boost. All right, so there is discussion about what's going on here, and we have our third and final fight with Bojan here. This is much easier than the first two, because now we have a third party member, and that makes life a lot easier. Yeah, like this warlock here, which is essentially a mage, we take it out in one round because we can hit it 3 times instead of 2. Very useful. This is why we go to get Lucy ASAP. Alright. And now we can wail on Bojan. Between the splash damage from this and the pumpkin guts, that will take out the other guy. Alright. Fire damage won't quite do enough. So we just need a regular attack here from Reynold. And down goes Bojan. Alright. So now we can use this rail car here. This rail car is going to be really helpful for getting around the mall. We're going to pop out here. We're going to talk to this guy who's going to be like, oh, hey, you fixed it. Here's a costume part. We're going to get back in. We're going to do this a couple more times to get all the way over to the left side of the mall, because that's where we need to be next. We're going to go trick-or-treating here, get into a battle. So what's going on here is that the mall was holding a trick-or-treat event where you could go to all of the various stores, and the intention was to have trick-or-treating for the kids, but with Dorsilla and her minions invading here, then you see some of these stores. We have Trobogs that greet us instead and pull us into these battles. Okay, so I think... Yeah, okay. So I'm intentionally going to attack the other guy now, because the other one only had 7 left, and that allowed me to have the pumpkin guts do enough damage to kill it as opposed to a direct attack. So that way, this one that's going to survive suffers more damage. I call this being in guts range, so if you hear me say that throughout the course of this, you'll know what I'm referring to there. Fire does some cleanup here, which is great. Alright. So now we talk to these kids here dressed like ninjas, and we're like, yo, there's monsters everywhere. They're like, oh yeah? If you're so tough, why don't you bring us proof that you have fought these monsters? So now we need to grab some monsters' horns. You're going to see them on some of these Trobogs that are walking around here like that guy. Shoot, I tried to get up and around him so I could sneak up on him, which is nice because this has both a healer and a mage in it, so we want to make sure that we make this battle faster if we can. We should be good here. We are. Okay, great. So we need to collect 3 of these horns and bring them to the ninjas. That's our current quest. See, I have a feeling this is where not getting the initiative is going to hurt. Oh, never mind. Okay, good. We didn't get inconvenienced by it. I think an uncritted attack will work here. It will. Good. Alright. Alright. Oh, I should have just fought that guy while I had the chance to get the initiative. Darn it. Okay. Obviously, you can't get initiative on trick-or-treat battles. It's only the ones that are walking around. We can walk up behind them. So the other thing that you're supposed to be able to do with the pail that you use to hit the enemies to get the initiative is there's all kinds of things in the environment that you can hit to either break walls to get through places, hit objects to coax candy out of it, so on and so forth. Pretty much all we're going to use the pail for is getting initiative and breaking walls that we need to in order to get to where we need to go. Obviously, an uncritted attack here is fine. We can just smash X. Alright, what's that Trobog doing now? It is walking away. Perfect. Okay. Ooh. Alright. Here we go. We see that healer there first, so that is our primary target. Will this get it into guts range? Not quite. I don't think 16 is enough. Yeah, 15 was the damage done to us, so I'm really glad I chose to attack it directly. Okay. Again, focus on the enemies with the least amount of HP to... Oh, whoops. They'll die faster. Now we can focus on the one that has a bunch because we've got our specials here. Almost don't want to say this because I don't want to jinx myself, but I've been very fortunate that I haven't gotten bad RNG regarding how the enemies have been targeting me. Obviously, turnabout is fair play. If they choose to heavily target one of my characters, then that person will die and make finishing battles rather difficult. Okay. Is that Trobog? Where is he? Oh, good. He's walking away again. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get the initiative while we know we can. 22 is not guts range. The amount of damage that you do with the pumpkin guts increases as you level up. So, that could be guts range like closer to the end of the game, but for now it's certainly not. Again, second priority is taking out mages. This hopefully is enough. It is. Okay, good. And you see, because I got attacked by the mage in the beginning, that fire... Oh, and because I didn't... See, okay, now here's the damage of not blocking attacks properly. I took too much damage there, and Reynold died. Now, this does not put me at all in any danger of not being able to finish this battle, but having his super certainly would have been nice. So this is going to take an extra round. Now, the nice thing about how experience works in this game is it's given to your party, not to your individual characters. So it's not like it's not like Reynold is missing out on any experience by finishing it without being alive. That will not, that does not affect me in any way. I get candy here, and then it's back into the car. Alright. So, these ninjas are very impressed with all the horns we've collected, and they have given us now the pattern to the ninja costume. We had already collected all the parts. We used the ninja costume in one specific application, and that is it. So we'll just hold on to it for now. Up. I wasn't avoiding that Trillbog there as far as getting the initiative. So normal battle it is. That's okay. So in a little bit, we're going to go visit Sadie again. Sadie follows you to all the three different levels of the game, and is your only real shop. And she's going to give us 16. Is that guts range? It wasn't. 15. Good. All right. That was another smart play. Okay, don't need a crit here. Just do that as quickly as possible to move it along. Alright, another battle here. We got 2 mages here. This can be a problem. Oh, I didn't... and this actually is a good time to talk about... not only what happens when you fail battle, but also when you want to run away from a battle. Running away from battles is guaranteed. They don't block you. They don't, you don't have to like wait for a certain amount of time or whatnot. Just if you need to run away, you got it. This is potentially a problem in that Reynold has taken a lot of damage, and he's going to take even more fire damage. So if he gets hit by any attack here, he's out. Oh, please attack Lucy. Oh, buff. That works too. Oh, thank goodness. All right. So they're going to take the fire damage, but it's not going to be enough to take him out. All right. So we will end up surviving this battle. Again, if all of your characters die and you fail the battle, all that happens is you get just placed right back where the beginning of the battle was. Okay, so there goes Everett. Is Reynold going to die too? No. Okay. Obviously don't need a crit here. So, it makes it very safe for this speed run that there's not a huge punishment for dying. This is another one where I'd really like to have gotten the initiative because it's a mage and 2 mages and a healer. So like I said, this battle can be very dangerous. Let's hope it doesn't go poorly. Yeah, having that extra damage from the initiative would have been nice, because that medic would be dead. Okay, what are the buffs here? That should be fine. Perfect. Okay, buffing the medic is what we want to see, honestly. That's not Guts range. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. You're going to buff the other guy, who is going to hit me super hard. But if that's the only hit I take, then I'm fine. Oof. See how that almost one-shotted Everett. You're dead. Between the attack and the fire, you are dead. Perfect. Okay, good. That battle was fine. Level up there. Level ups basically happen in set places because we have a very particular order that we do everything as far as, you know, who we attack and where we go trick-or-treating. So we know exactly when these level ups are going to come. Speaking of level ups, what level are... Oh, shoot. Didn't get the initiative here. I think now we're level 5? We are level... Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're level 6. The maximum level that you can get to in this game is level 10. We will only be getting to level 8. The amount of extra battles that you would need to do to get to level 10 would take several minutes longer than they need to, and level 8 is sufficient enough for getting through the very end of the game, which is not a guarantee. It is the final bosses of this game can be rather tricky. Okay, don't need to attack with Everett. Everett's attack is stronger than Lucy's, so I would rather apply full damage to an enemy with full HP as opposed to having the overflow from an enemy that it would kill waste the amount of damage that we do. Oh, Reynolds out! Okay. That's going to make this interesting, because now we've got another enemy with 300 HP sitting there. We still need to chew through. Not going to get any residual damage from the fire because we didn't get to use his super. So this is going to be... This is going to take a bit. That was unfortunate. See, so that is an example of enemies giving me bad RNG with how they kind of concentrate their targets on a particular character, especially a useful one. Lucy is the most expendable character pretty much throughout the entire game, so if any of them are going to die, we would prefer for it to be her. Everett's just barely holding on here. This crit should do it, and it does. Okay. Alright. Come up here to this store. It's another battle. Kill the healer first. Oh, good. Killed it in 2 hits. Can just start attacking the other guys even sooner. There's going to be... I was talking about leveling up to level 8. We're going to time it pretty well such that we get to level 8 like right before we fight the final bosses. And what's important about doing that is that there is no grind that you can do in this game. Enemies do not respawn certainly not from trick-or-treating. But oh, I didn't do the super. That was kind of dumb. But even the ones that are walking around, they don't respawn either. So a regular attack should work. Okay. So, we're going to break this here with a pair. We're going to fall down. We have to be very careful that we don't walk out of this pumpkin before grabbing this part. Otherwise, we have to go all the way back up and around, and it's a big waste of time. Alright. Little trick-or-treating there. We pop into this place, and this is where we talk to Sadie again. We're going to buy this, and this, and this. And the only thing we're going to equip here is that jawbone of the wolf, which is essentially a stronger form of the fang of the wolf that Everett was already wearing. The other stuff that we bought, we're going to use later in the run. Okay, so we talk to this mysterious scarecrow again, who's going to give us more parts. Now, we're going to come and talk to this guy. He is the announcer for a costume contest that's going on. Now, in order to figure out what costumes we should be wearing for this contest, we need to go and we need to talk to these judges here. Oh, by the way, as we walk through here, don't mind this scary thing that's hanging up here. Oh, gross. And they're going to tell us, hey, I want to see this, this, and that. Well, we're already wearing 2 of the costumes that they want us to see. The third one is the Statue of Liberty costume. And before we get back here, we're going to put Everett into that costume. The robot and the knight are the other ones that they want to see. They're all very impressed with this. And our reward is the pattern for the unicorn costume. We've been collecting the parts for it all throughout here. So now we have the unicorn. We won't use this until later. But it is very critical for the end of the game. Oh, shoot. No, no, no. We're not leaving yet. We have one more encounter to do here. This last trick-or-treat. I should have done this before I did the costume contest. Now, the way that the crits work for the Statue of Liberty is you roll the stick around in a circle. You don't press any buttons to do it. Alright, a regular attack here is going to be enough to kill this guy. We don't need to do the super. This is a little faster, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, now, so that little cutscene there was the gate opening up because all trick-or-treating has been done. Okay, we're going to summon the car here, and off we go. So we're going to come up here. Here's an optional cutscene that we're going to watch where these kids discover where all of the monsters are collecting and shipping out the candy. And Everett and Lucy kind of start to make a connection here, which blossoms over the rest of the run. So here's Ren. They're very happy to be reunited because Reynolds like, sweet, I got my sister back. I'm not going to be grounded. This is great. Let's get the hell out of here. But unfortunately, that's going to be foiled in just a second by this guy. This is Mextol. And he is the one in charge of getting all of the candy shipped out and whatnot. So these kids aren't too happy about it. So we're going to fight Mextol. But before we do, we have to fight these 2 minions of his, these two Trobogs. We're like, yeah, we got this handled. So let's get started. Alright, all we need to do is just attack this second guy 5 times. And this will get this... Oh, whoops. Oh, I started... That was kind of goofy. Maybe we'll still be okay? I don't know. I might have wasted an attack for Lucy, though. We'll see. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, shoot. Alright, that's alright. They're like, oh, we couldn't deal with it. Mextal's like, fine, I'll handle it myself. Alright, so here comes Mextal. Mextal has 2 phases. One here in his bulldozer. And then once he gets to 0 HP, then that phase ends. And oh shoot. Okay. You know what? We're gonna run away here because yeah. So it's just pressing L and R, and the battle ends. Defeated. Whatever. Oops. I have to summon the car again. Yeah. So what happened there, and I'll kind of explain what's going on with how Mextal works, is that he has a special attack that he telegraphs that we can prevent, but because I didn't do this part right here, I didn't know who he was going to attack, so I wasn't sure if he was even going to with his special bulldozer attack. So so preventing it really wasn't an option for me. Now we're going to do this properly, and we should see what's going on here. Okay. Alright, so now we get to Mextal again, and now we can attack with Lucy. Okay, so you see Everett saying, oh, he's giving me the evil eye. So this means that Mextal is gearing up to attack Everett with its special bulldozer attack. This is where the Knight special comes into play. It's this shield buff that will greatly reduce any damage being done to that character for the next couple of turns. Here comes a bulldozer attack, and instead of like one-shotting, it only does about 30 or so damage, which is great. That's where Lucy really, or the Knight, which is being worn by Lucy, really comes into play. Okay, good. Really spreading out the damage here. I like it. But if a character does take too much damage, we fortunately have a way to deal with that, and it's actually pretty funny. Okay, all right. So Reynold is going to be targeted next, but first we're going to do. Oh, I meant to do a regular attack there, but that's fine. Okay, so. So the bulldozer has been destroyed, and now we have Mextal's second form, which is okay. We gotta protect Reynold here, which is him just using his magic wand to do attacks, or his magic wrench, I should say. Okay. Oh shoot. Okay. Everett is getting low on HP. No problem. We're gonna use the Statue of Liberty special. And the Statue of Liberty special is the healing power of America! It's called Anthem, which heals your entire party. Okay, yeah, we know we don't like how he's looking at you. Oh, shoot. That buff wore off. Okay. Do I have another one to put on him? I don't think I do. I think I need one more turn. Yeah. This could be a problem. Reynold might get taken out here. Oh, he didn't. Okay, good. He survived. But he's stunned for a turn. And unfortunately, I don't have a heal for the party yet. So, Mextal's pretty close to being dead. Who's getting attacked here? That's a problem. Okay, I have to heal again. Otherwise, Mextal could really make things difficult for me. Fortunately, he's almost dead, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so that means we need to protect Lucy here. Mextal will do this too, where especially after delivering or after we detect who he's going to target with his special. where he just won't take a turn. And there we go. That's it. And Mextol is dead. All right. So Mextol can be a little tricky there. All right. That's the candy. You're going to get licked. So here's Dorsilla. Yeah, now you see Dorsilla mentioning someone named Big Bones. And we're going to see her relationship with Big Bones coming up here as we go along. But Dorsilla is not happy with the fact that these children are now back and trying to foil her plans, especially Ren and Reynold being together, because she has the recording of all of those horrible things that Reynold was saying about his sister earlier. Remember where he said that he wished that she had never been born? Well, she is now hearing this, and she is really not too happy about it because she thought maybe they were having a breakthrough and that they were actually becoming friends. He was much younger when I said that, which was really just, what, about like 20 minutes ago? So Dorsilla says, okay, you know what? Enough with you kids. I am going to essentially kidnap you and bring you to my base of operations. All right, and that's the end of the second area. The mall is now done. So now we're going to this valley here, where all the kids have been dressed up as candy corns, and all their costumes have been taken from them. Speaking of the costumes being taken, we see them here. They're in this treasure chest. We need to get them back from these bird enemies, and we'll talk more about them in a second. But first what we're going to do is we're going to talk to this kid that's hiding here. This is a mini game that is available in every section called Hidden Kids, where there are 6 kids hidden throughout the land that you need to talk to, and if you do find all 6 of them, then you get an upgrade to your pail, which allows it to hold more candy, and your entire party does more damage. The pails don't stack, so we only get the last one. We don't bother with the first 2. But we talked to this guy. He's from the big city. He had dreams of making it big, selling fries, but he doesn't have any customers, so he's going to give us this fry costume that he doesn't fit in, and the special ability for this outside of battle is, you see how it's glowing there, it's dropping this very alluring scent. What it's meant to do is to allure people to come to his fry stand and buy his fries, but what we're going to do is we're going to trick these bird things, which are called crest whalers, into the barn with the smell of food because they're very hungry, and we're going to trap them in there. Once we've done that, the treasure chest conveniently falls down, and all of our costumes are back, which is great. All right, so now we go, we go robot here, space warrior here, knight here, and we can scoot, which is nice. We're going to collect Hidden Kid number 2 once I get in there. There we go. We're going to collect Hidden Kid number 2 over here. And then we come to this area which has all the customers that the fry guy wants. But before we do that, we do a whole lot of trick-or-treating in this section. This is going to be a fantastic spot for donations. Obviously I've been explaining a lot of things that are going on in here, but a lot of times when I'm doing these battles which are very similar, those are great times for donations as well. But this section here is going to take a few minutes to get through. So especially if we've got donations built up, this will be a good opportunity to get through them. Oh, 1 HP. That's definitely Guts range. So we'll start focusing on the other guy. And that's death there. Yeah, so these crest whalers, like I said, these are the new creatures in this area that are part of Dorsilla's army of candy collectors and kid fighters. enemies in this section have a decent amount of HP, so getting through some of these battles takes a bit. Fortunately, as we're leveling up here, the amount of damage being done by the robot and the Space Warrior supers becomes a lot higher, so it really, really helps with taking out these enemies faster than you would otherwise. I just did not press the right button there. And that's probably not Guts range. Is it? I don't know. Let's see. 18. Nope. It was 1 HP more than what I would have needed there. So, alright. Oh, and he's dead. Okay, great. Well, I got lucky. I got unlucky there, I should say. Okay. That's not Guts range. We just proved that it's not. So this is going to take a couple extra rounds. But again, no threat of losing the battle and wasting all that time. Just, we're probably looking at like an extra 3 or 4 attack animations, which is not a huge deal. Certainly this would be an unfortunate time loss in a PB attempt, which this of course is not, but that's fine. Alright, the Crest Whaler monks, those are the healers. The Crest Whaler mystics, those are the mages. So again, we take out the healers first, and then the mages. Always. Always, always, always. See here, it's going to do its buff. That guy, which is not the best news. Fortunately, it's not like when the mages get buffed and they have an extra strong attack and the fire that comes out afterwards. Okay, 12 is certainly Guts range, so that'll take care of that mage. That's not going to be enough damage to obviously do anything, because this will be over after the next couple of attacks, and we can move on. Good. I think I level up here, or maybe it's the next battle. I think it's the next battle, actually. Never mind the enormous burning effigy in the middle of town. It's just kind of how they do things here. .23 is not Guts range, so we're going to target it. How much is Guts doing? 17. Okay. Target the other guy. More damage. Throw a big meteor at him. Go. This obviously does not need to be a crit. And there we go. Alright. One more house to trick or treat at, and it's just candy. Fortune. There's my level up. Okay. And it's just candy. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to switch to the Fry Crossing, where we're going to start to lure this kid over. Before we take him all the way back, we got one more conversation here with Sadie. We're just going to buy this rotten egg, but we're not going to equip it. The rotten egg is something we will use during one of the final boss fights. Okay. So we're going to lure over this first kid here, and the kid is very excited about French fries. This second kid here is infinitely more excited about French fries and is my favorite NPC in the game. It is the princess. The princess wants to get some French fries. In fact, she wants them so badly that she is going to eat French fries until she pukes, which is one of my favorite lines in the game. And now we got to get the third kid, which is this one in the devil costume down here in the corner. Switch to the switch to the French fries. There we go. Bring them out. Now, this kid loves French fries as much as the princess does, but is very much more subdued about it. We bring them over, and they're like, oh, rad, French fries. All right. He's very happy about all these customers that he has. So now we have tickets to the carnival. Normally you get shunned because you don't have tickets or even your costumes for there. So you have to come up and do this little side quest. But we knew we needed to do this. There's Hidden Kid number 3. So we're going to talk to the person here at the ticket booth. All right. Now here's a really important cutscene that's optional, but we're going to see this. Here we see Dorian, this mystic, who is telling us about who he is. He says he is a helpful cat and a mysterious scarecrow. That black cat we saw at the beginning of the game, the scarecrow that we've talked to twice, it's Dorian that has been helping us out. Dorian is the brother of Dorsilla. So the kids are like, whoa, if you're her brother, why have you been helping us? And he says, yeah, my sister's fallen in a bad crowd. She needs to be brought to her senses, but I can't be the one to do it. And the kids ask why, and the reason is he's really mean and I'm totally afraid of her. So he's terrified of his sister. So he's essentially been using the kids as a conduit for taking out his sister because he's too cowardly to do it himself. All right, so there's some commotion here at the Ferris wheel, and we'll show you what it is. This is actually kind of funny. It is these monsters here, and they're shaking kids. They're shaking all the candy out of them. And there's a funny line in here. Told you humans are full of candies. You're right. I guess you owe you a hug after all. All right, that's enough of that. Oh, whoops, no, I'm sorry. We have to do this battle, and then we go trick-or-treating again. We'll take these guys out. See, 375 HP on 2 of these enemies here. That is a lot. That level up that we just got from the previous house, though, is going to be very helpful, especially the Space Warriors. Special attack now does a bunch of damage, so this will serve us well throughout pretty much the rest of this entire section. That should be Guts range. We're going to go for it. Let's see if we're right. Yep, good. 20th the amount of damage Guts was doing. Okay. We're going to focus on the one with the most HP because we're going to be able to do a whole bunch of damage to it. 122 from the main one there from the rockets. Let's see what the rock does. What, 172? That is pretty nice. Fire will do a lot of cleanup here. We just need one uncritted attack from Reynold, and we're done here. There we go. Alright, now that we've finished that battle, we can pop up here and grab this costume part for something that we'll need for the very end. Scary Fangs. I'll let you guess what that's for. Okay, trick or treat here. This is candy. Trick or treat again. This is also candy. There's a hidden kid right here. That's number 4. We need 2 more now. And then these next 3 trick-or-treats are battles. So this is another good section for donations. Another one here with a healer and a monk. So we're very particular about the order to do the battles here, as we have been all game long. Good. I'm really glad I didn't get double attacked there. Otherwise, that would have definitely put Reynold into danger of dying. Cool. Alright, a couple supers here and we're done with this one. That's definitely Guts range. primarily target it, and we'll still kill it anyway. Again, the usefulness of that Pumpkin Guts battle stamp is... It's literally throughout basically the entire game as soon as you get it. Alright. All the supers and everything like that should take this guy out pretty easily. 122. What's this going to do? It's going to be more. 166. Attack here is enough. Okay, that's it. 3 rounds, and we're done. We need to drag that out any longer than we need to. Alright. Focus our supers on the assassin. That should easily take it out. The other one will just kind of get swept up in the process. Yeah, this meteor here should kill it. Perfect. Alright. Now. Oops, not yet. So we've got this guy here, this daredevil kind of looking guy here. This is the only time we're going to switch to the ninja costume. It allows us to do this shroud ability to walk by him. So this is Orzo. He is a human cannonball, but we don't want him to get in the cannon. We want us to get in the cannon. So that way we can get up there. You're going to explode when you see this awesomeness. Here we go. We're going to load into here. A few more calculations. Thank you, algebra. That girl says she knows algebra? Uh-oh. So here we go. We launch ourselves up to this encounter here. We're fighting on top of a Ferris wheel. You'll just have to take my word for it. Alright, this healer should die here. Perfect. It's going to be interesting to see if the secondary damage will be enough to take out this other guy here. Let's see how these two supers go, okay? Yeah, okay, between the fire and the guts damage here, this should be enough to kill this guy, and it is. Great. Okay. So now they tuck their tails in shame as they fly away. I already feel less vomity. Alright, so we get him down from the steering wheel, or the Ferris wheel, excuse me. And that's good. 2 more trick-or-treats to do for the rest of the game. This one's a battle, the next one's candy, and then that's it. Again, the Mystic is the mage, so we want that. We want that one destroyed ASAP. And 2 attacks was all it took. We are certainly much more powerful now. This probably will not kill. Darn it. I do have to see that extra attack animation waste a few seconds. But these 2 supers will clean everything up. Go. Alright, like I said, this is going to be our last trick-or-treat that we have to do for the level. It's candy. You get the cutscene there for the gate opening. Did I do what I wanted? No, I didn't. There we go. Okay. We got to use the sword to get through here. From the Space Warrior. Hidden Kid number 5. Got to use the sword again to get into this cave. We're picking up another costume part. This is Black Cloth. Scary Fangs, Black Cloth. Alright, now, this battle here is not required for us to take. But we take it because it's going to help us get just enough experience to get to that level 8 that I was talking about. And the reason why we deliberately take this one is because this one only has 2 enemies as opposed to 3, which is pretty much all the other ones that you've been seeing. So with there only being 2 enemies from the get-go, it's a lot faster. Dead. Alright, a couple supers and then we're good. Alright, so we talk to the Scarecrow again. It tries to be all mysterious, but we're like, Dorian, we know it's you. So he gives us the final parts that we need for the pumpkin costume. He also gives us a speaker from the big black gate. That will come in handy in a second. This kid standing right here in the middle of the open, that's Hidden Kid number 6, believe it or not. And he gives us the Bat Bucket. And again, what the Bat Bucket does is, the function that we care about is that it gives us an attack upgrade to all of our characters. Now with the white makeup, we have everything for the vampire costume. The unicorn, the pumpkin, and the vampire are the 3 costumes that we will use for the final bosses of the game. But before we get there, we've got the maze. Now we talked to this grub in here who says, I want you to help us. We're sick of Dorsilla and everything that she's done. So we want you to help us to stop her now. We're basically sick of her crap. We want to help you. So the way that we help is we go around and we're going to free all of these grubbins that have been imprisoned here in this maze. Here's one. And what they're going to do is they're going to give us parts to a grubbin costume. We're going to dress up in this grubbin costume, and it's going to allow us to sneak past a guard that will allow us to go and confront Dorsilla. That is standing in the way of us confronting Dorsilla, I think is a better way of putting that. Okay. So there's part number 2. There are all these crest whalers that are floating around in these areas. We want to avoid all of them because we have no need to get into any battles here. Alright. Now we have the grubbin costume. Okay. Now we can switch back into it and walk up. We can talk to this guy who's like, oh yeah, you can come on through. And then as soon as we get around the corner, robot time again. If you switch your costume too early there, then the crest whaler will see you and will you'll get into a battle. Speaking of getting into battles, this is actually a required cutscene. I can't rush this conversation. But we have the return of Mextol, who is rolling up very, very, very slowly, such that the kids are like, do you want us to come over there so that we can fight? And he's like, no, wait, I'm coming. Now, this fight with Mextol is way, way easier than the first confrontation. In fact, this should be done in just 3 rounds. Doesn't have any special attacks. He doesn't have a second form. He has the 1000 HP just like before, but we are way stronger than we were than the first time we met him. So this will go quickly. Yeah, just a regular attack. Nobody cares. attack, not a big deal. We can hit him with a couple supers. And then one more attack here, and that's it. Alright, now we get to level 8. That's perfectly timed because the only thing we have left to do here is the final boss fights. First we got to go over this ramp. Got it. This ramp. Got it. Okay. So that's Dorsilla standing there. We're going to fight her. Now we need to switch our costumes. So Reynold is going to be the pumpkin. Everett is going to be the unicorn, and Lucy is going to be the vampire. And we do have to make one change to our battle stamps here, too. It's a very minor one. We are going to give Lucy this rotten egg, and I will demonstrate what this does when I start the fight here with Dorsilla. Dorsilla is rather upset because things are not going well for her. But she still has all the confidence. She's still got Ren in her candy corn costume. Ren is going to go with Dorsilla to this place called Repugia, which is what she's been trying to get to this whole time, because she has some plans there which are going to be revealed in just a minute here. She says we're going to step through that magic portal, which is going to be treated as the Queen of Repugia. You see the back of Everett's unicorn costume with the legs. I love that. Alrighty. Toss over to Big Bones to satisfy my debt. Alright, so that's actually pretty important for what's coming up here. As far as the whole Big Bones things goes. Yeah. Reynold is starting to get really tired of her messing with the costumes. Okay, so here we go. Here's the Dorsilla fight. Dorsilla can really be tough with RNG, so let's see what she does here. Alrighty. Pumpkin. You do the rotating stick thing just like the Statue of Liberty. Unicorn crit is just like the Knight. The vampire, you just have to press a button repeatedly. Okay, Dorsilla has, of course, given me horrible RNG. Kind of. Okay, so what she has done is she has split herself into 3 forms. This stinks because this is going to take up a lot of time. You can kill the other forms, but it just takes even more time to do so. And once you eliminate all of them, she can bring them back. Ouch. Okay. Alright, so this is the pumpkin special. It's called All Hallows Eve. It is a really, really strong attack. We're not going to do Everett's special yet. Now, Lucy, we're going to use this battle stamp. That's the Rotten Egg. What this does is stuns an enemy, but what it does here is that special attack that the real Dorsilla was cooking up gets foiled. Okay, well, we are going to use Everett's special. The Unicorn special is called My Pretty Panacea, and what it will do is it will restore a character to full health, even if they're dead. So, now, here's the cool thing. I revived Lucy, and now it's her turn. So she gets to use a turn, even though she started the round dead. Which is really nice. You see, Dorsilla has 4,000 HP, so this battle takes a while, especially with getting all of the copies like right away. Oh boy. No. Okay, that's not good. Because I really wanted to do his special there, but I don't get to. So we gotta wait until next turn to do the revive from the unicorn again. Okay, We're going to bring back Reynold. I'm going to wait, I think, until next round to use the Vampire special. Oh, I might regret doing that. Okay, no, I'm fine. Okay. Ah, here we go. We can use All Hallows Eve, which is going to be our main damage here. We're going to attack here. Alright. And now we're going to use the Vampire special, which is called There's a Bat in My Hair. And what this does is it does damage to all enemies and heals your party. Oh, good. Okay. We want to see Dorsilla do this as much as possible, because this is now 2 rounds where she won't attack us. And that's good, because the less attacks we have to deal with, the easier it is to survive. Pretty simple. If we allow her to do this attack that she's charging up, it's pretty close to a full party wipe. Oh boy! Okay, this is going to be interesting, because I have to use the... No, we'll just do an attack here. We gotta use this Rotten Egg to stop her, otherwise this battle would be over. In a bad way. Okay. Okay. Ooh, thank goodness. Okay. Alright, All Hallows Eve, that's excellent. I think I want to preemptively use this Panacea on... Oh, what do I want to do? This is really tough. I think I will use it on Reynold. Only because this battle is almost over, and I think this will give me just enough to get to the finish line. Oh, I have the heal. That was dumb. I should have used it on Lucy. Okay, well, now we're set. We're set. Okay, cool. It should be over next round. I think Lucy can do enough damage here to finish her off. We'll find out. No. Okay. Just one more attack will do it. Okay, good. Dorsilla, there is some danger of losing this battle. The next battle that we're about to do, there's plenty of danger. Okay, so she's dead. Alright, now, we learn a little more about what was going on with Dorsilla. So, I have to go and talk to her a couple more times. But before we do that, we've got a couple of things that we're going to equip here. This is essentially like a regen ability. That's going to go on Reynold. I'm sorry, on Everett. This is a lesser regen. That's going to go on Everett. And then this Flying Tombstone is greatly increased HP. That's going to go on Lucy. And we are basically just in survival mode for this next battle. All right, so we got to talk to her a few times in order to get this going here. So here's what's going on. Dorsilla's embarrassed by her defeat. And she says, no, okay, I got to call for backup here. This is when she summons Big Bones, who she's been talking about. Here he comes. He is this enormous Grim Reaper thing, but he doesn't fit through the portal that she is trying to bring out, so he's just kind of stuck there, right? Well, Big Bones is obsessed with Candy. He's the mastermind between this whole thing. Dorsilla is going to try to blame what's going on here as far as the lack of candy that is going on with the kids. But what we're going to do is we're going to hear a message from the speaker that Scarecrow Dorian gave us. And what this speaker is going to do is it's a message from Dorsilla to her brother, who basically says, I am using Big Bones' army to get what I want, and then I'm going to use them to overthrow him and become the ruler of Repugia. Well, Big Bones is obviously not very happy about this, so he is going to turn her into a tub of goo. He is going to eliminate her. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, we had a deal, but he didn't know that this was going to be going on. So, get her out of the way. She walks away in shame. He's like, I almost... This is funny. Oh. There we go. So, Dorsilla is like, oh, okay, well, if you're going to betray me, then I'm going to essentially kind of like power up these kids and allow them to fight you. Here we go. I'll just work up more of an appetite this way. Have no fear. You'll like it in my stomach. It smells great in there. I just ate a bunch of bacon, which, you know, makes Big Bones very relatable. All right. But now we have to actually fight him. And this can get very scary, especially at the end of the battle. It is really, really important that managing our own HP is very tight. So his attack does damage to everyone, but it does have a primary target. You see my regen from those vampire battle stamps processing. Those are going to really, really be helpful for keeping our HP in good shape, as will the revives and heals from Everett and Lucy, respectively. Okay. There we go. Things are looking good so far. Definitely want to be judicious about when I use the heals. It's a bit too early to do it now. Okay, this is we really don't like seeing this, especially on Everett. That is an unblockable attack. I'm just going to use the Panacea on him, because obviously if we lose Everett, the one who can revive us, we're hosed, especially this early in the battle. No need to use Lucy's heal yet. Want to have this on deck for whenever we need it. We still don't need it now. We're doing okay. Still have to wait another turn to get Reynolds' super. Okay. Should be fine here. Lucy still has a decent amount of HP. Use the super here. Alright, so we're about halfway through Big Bones' HP. As soon as he falls below 1200 HP, he shifts into his second phase where he becomes extremely dangerous. Ooh, that was close. Okay, good. I mean, even if Lucy would have died, we could just revive her. But we're absolutely using the Panacea on her to get her back to full HP, and we're pretty much at full HP right now, which is honestly I mean, especially where we're at in this battle, we're in great position. We still have Lucy's heal on deck if we need it. And I don't think we need it here. Oh no, we can't. All Hallows Eve next turn. Maybe. We want to try to time... I might have to do it this next. Okay. Okay. Alright. This is going to be interesting. Because this will certainly put Big Bones into that second phase. See here, he does this. I'm not feeling so good. Time for a little pick-me-up. He's going to take in all this candy. And now he just goes... Yeah, that's the sugar Papa likes. Now he goes into essentially Berserk mode. This is a very, very scary part of the fight. Oh boy. Okay. We absolutely need that heal from Lucy now. No question about it. fact that I've gotten this far into the battle, this is the first time I've had to heal with Lucy, is pretty fortunate. Oh, there goes Reynold. Okay, that's a problem. Do I have the Panacea? I do. Thank goodness. All right. So this is going to be crucial because that's our main damage dealer that just died and got revived. Okay. This is probably bad. Do I have the heal with Lucy? I need one more turn. Okay. This is going to be close. Okay, there goes Reynold is dead. Okay, I do have the heal now, though. This hopefully will allow me to survive. Okay, Panacea, we're going to use that on Reynold. Yeah, you can see, I mean, we are just... It is really tough for us to stay up here. Okay. Alright. Oh, this next attack should kill. Alright. Oh, I could have used All Hallows Eve, but that's okay. Alrighty. So at the end of this cutscene, once it fades to black, that is time. And... time. Okay, so 143 is actually considerably longer than any percent. I underestimated how much those cutscenes add. A decent... I mean, a good run of this in any percent is going to be in the low 120s. That run was not terribly great, but it wasn't awful either. So I'm thinking the cutscenes add more like maybe about 15 minutes or so to this run. So, but I can go back and time everything to get that down exactly. So, but anyway, so here we go. We get to the end of the game where the kids return back to their neighborhood with Dorian driving the bus, and they return all the stolen candy to the kids of the neighborhood, and they come home as heroes. Well, Mom is very happy that Reynold and Ren have made 2 new friends, and it's okay for them to spend the night, and so they're going to hang out and trade candy and have fun. But before they can do that, Dad has to come in, as dads do, take some candy as a dad tax. That is very important. As a father of 2 myself, I can tell you that this is very real and very important. All right, so this conversation here at the end is kind of funny, but then there's something you see once it's over that's really cool. So they get down to the very, very serious business of trading candy back and forth. You see the bat bucket there sitting in front of Lucy, the one with the glasses. This is the one that we obtained from finding all of those hidden kids. Now, you see that cat up there in the gutter? Remember? That's Dorian. He was the cat in the very beginning that helped out Reynold. So he's going to stick around, and he's going to watch over these kids, which I think is really cute. So I think that was a cute little touch to the end of the game. Oh, the very end of this conversation is funny here, too, between Everett and Lucy, where Lucy says, "I can't wait forever, babe." And Everett says, "Did you just call me babe?" And so they make a little connection there at the end, which is cool. And that's it. These credits are cool, too, because what you see here is all these pictures of the developers of the game, of themselves when they were kids in their Halloween costumes. You see Elliot there is the robot at the bottom. I wonder if that was inspiration for the robot costume that you use throughout the game. So anyway, so that is Costume Quest, any percent with the additional cutscenes, or essentially a cutscene percent. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you will give it some strong consideration for Limit Break this year. And yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions about the run, if you have it, about the donation incentives or anything like that. So yeah, Thanks so much for watching, and take care.